as well as him being a great musician and me being a man who plays music on the radio. And he's also a regular guest on this show because he's a great London musician, and he is Ray Gelato. Ray, welcome back, mate.
Thanks for having me back.
I was just saying, because you're a singer-saxophonist, and I went and saw Van Morrison last night, and he played an awful lot of sax in his set, because he can actually play pretty well.
That's very unusual for Van to do that.
It is,
because he usually used to just play on like one or two numbers. I'm surprised that was...
I think it's because it was a little gig in a sort of jazz club, basically, a small club, and he did 4 or 5 numbers where he played saxophone.
Well, I know, I've met him, and I know him, and I know he's a big fan of the saxophone. He loves all these classic guys, and he loves guys like Sam Butera that played Louis Prim. We always talk about that.
Because he knows his stuff, doesn't he, musically?
Absolutely, inside out. Yeah, he does.
And I mean, as do you, of course. In that, you're a real student of this music in many ways, aren't you?
I am, and I'm still studying it. Still really enjoy putting my Charlie Parker records on, and my Duke Ellington and rhythm and blues, Joe Turner, things like that.
Because you sort of came from the rock and roll side of things at first, didn't you?
Indeed I did, in the late 70s and early 80s, in like rock and roll bands, and I've just discovered what went on before rock and roll, and it was the rhythm and blues and the big bands.
And the Louis Jordans and the jump and the jive and all of that stuff.
It's quite similar. Rock and roll was really just a little bit more of a cleaned up, simplified version of the R&B,
Yeah. I mean, I had a little session on the show the other day where I played a lot of that stuff, and I played the big Joe Turners, and I played, all of that kind of thing, and people love it.
Robert, the vibe of those records is something that will never be reproduced. It was unbelievable, and the musicians on it, when the saxophone players came in and played, it was just incredible, great feeling.
What came first for you, singing or playing sax?
Playing sax.
Yeah.
Playing sax in a Bill Haley and the Comets type band.
Really?
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Not that I'd learned a few solos off my dad's record collection in my little council flat in Ladbroke Grove, being a pain in the bottom for everybody.
Yeah, I bet the neighbours loved you, mate.
You know what? In those days, it was really funny because people didn't complain.
No.
It was mostly Jamaican kids on that estate.
Well, especially, I was going to say, especially around Ladbroke Grove, because it was full of blues parties going right back to the 50s and stuff.
When I grew up, it was all blue beat and ska, the original stuff, and what was the guy? I can't remember his name, but there was one guy they used to always play that used to play a little bit of jazz stuff. Lord Kitchener.
Yeah, Lord Kitchener. And then also the Scatolites and that. A lot of them were jazz players originally. The Tommy McCooks and when you listen to that early ska, it's kind of like Jamaican rhythm and blues.
You know what? The beat's it's almost like the shuffle, but emphasised.
Yeah, it's that New Orleans beat, isn't it? Really?
They used to play it. We all mixed in with the music, so I didn't get too many complaints. Most complaints I got was from my mum and dad. They used to tell me to shut up. Yeah, no one else on the estate.
And then I guess there's also the other side to you, which is sort of the Italian side, which is part of your heritage, isn't it, really?
A little bit, and there's I love all that Italian. I didn't really grow up with that, but where I started to learn about the Italian music was when we used to go over there and hear the stuff, and the fans would ask me to play certain songs, and they'd give me tapes and CDs to learn them, so I got to know that side. But I've always loved Louis Prima and Sinatra that had that heritage as well,
Now, you've got a record out, Ray Gelato and the Giants. You've also got the gigs up at Ronnie's. How's Ronnie's going?
Ronnie's is going great. It's such a wonderful thing. I think it's our 13th year.
Is it really?
Doing it. Yeah.
Wow.
We started supporting George Melly, as you and I have discussed, the late, great George Melly, and it's going great. It's just a pleasure to be in Soho this time of year, and it's a pleasure to walk on the stage. I can't think of a better thing I could do,
No, really. Absolutely. You can go and get a coffee over at the Bar Italia.
Yeah, coffee, and it's just a lovely vibe. It's part of what I love to do. I hang in Soho anyway, if I'm not doing Ronnie's, but it's just getting up there with a great bunch of guys like we've got, and a wonderful audience. I say there's no feeling like it on earth.
Now, you've got a record out, and obviously you've done a lot of covers over the years, but this is all stuff you've written, isn't it?
Indeed it is, Robert. It's actually out officially in February, but we're flogging a few copies now to get our investment back at Ronnie's. But yes, it is. It's basically a compilation of stuff I've recorded over the years with a couple of new tracks. We got Bar Italia on it, and we got one called Get Off the Phone. They're the new tracks which I wrote, but it's all originals because I'm fed up sort of being known as a cover artist. I do the covers and I love the covers, but I do write, and there's 14 original tracks on it.
Well, this is one of them. This is Get Off the Phone, and when we've heard this, we're going to get Ray to play for us live.
Can't put it down, gotta take a glance. You check it out, can't take a chance. Just wasted time, don't make no sense. In your own world, of such nonsense. 5,000 friends, but you're alone. Get off the phone. Get off the phone. Still when you're out in company. Your head is down, so solitary. You're pushing that, you're tapping this, just hoping for that digital kiss. I have no life, I hear you moan. Get off the phone, get off the phone. Put it down, don't be a clown. Come on, get alive. This universe of our online verse, this is the only way that we can converse. A tweet is sweet, your blogs are pain, your Facebook post is so inane, and yet it seeks to hypnotize. It will entice your mind and eyes, just like a dog chewing that bone. Get off the phone, get off the phone. Entire show, you press record, can't concentrate. The hot mix, because you take 100 picks. You cannot hear Dan's mellow tone. Get off the phone, get off the phone. Put it down now, don't be a clown now. Come on, get alive. This universe of our online verse, is this the only way that we can converse? You're on a bus, or on a train, or in a bar, or on a plane. Still that device, it's always near. In fact, it's glued onto your ear. Take my advice, leave it at home. Get off the phone!
What a great track from the album Ray Gelato and the Giants, Original Flavours. Can people get hold of that now if they want to copy, Ray?
Well, only on the live gigs at the moment. We are officially putting out with a video of Get Off the Phone, a very comedic video. So February, that's released, yeah.
Brilliant. And how many gigs you still got to come at, Ronnie's?
I've got one tonight, tomorrow, then the 29 and 31st. 5.
Okay, so I don't know if there's any tickets left. There probably ain't very many, but...
Robert, I believe it's sold out, but if people can chance their arm and turn up, because there might be a couple of...
Yeah, there's usually some returns or something, or you could always dig a tunnel or abseil.
Or see me, slip me a $5 and I'll get you in the back.
Right then, Ray, what are you going to play for us? And also, you're not alone, so introduce your beautiful accompanist.
A fantastic piano player has played with us for 9 or 10 years. I think Gunter Kurmeyer, who my right-hand man, I take him everywhere with me. And we're going to play a song I wrote called Is Santa Claus Real? It's got the Fielding School Choir at Ealing, my little girl's school. She's 7 years old. I couldn't bring the school choir in, so we're going to do it. And all the profits of this go towards the Ormond Street Hospital. We're going to put the profits towards Ormond Street.
Brilliant. Take it away, gentlemen.
All right, Gunner. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Round about Christmas time, there lived a little girl so fine. This little girl, she loved Christmas every year. Oh, but when the snow would fall and Christmas trees grew tall, she'd sit and wait for Santa Claus to appear. Then one day at school, some other kids were cruel. They said Santa and his reindeer were not true. Well, her daddy sat her on his knee and then explained patiently, well, tonight, little baby, Santa Claus is coming to you. And then she said, is Santa Claus real? Is Santa Claus real? Well, listen, little children, old Santa's on his way. Is Santa Claus real? Is Santa Claus real? Santa's got lots of toys for all your little girls and boys, as he waved goodbye as his reindeer pulled his sleigh. Santa Claus real? Well, listen, little children, old Santa's on his way. Is Santa Claus real? Is Santa Claus real? Well, Santa's got lots of toys for all you grown-up girls and boys, as he waved goodbye, his reindeer pulled his sleigh. As he waved goodbye, he'll be back next Christmas Day. And hopefully we will too.
Yeah! Absolutely fantastic. Always great to have you any time of year, Ray. Some gigs coming up at Ronnie's. As I say, I don't know if there's going to be any tickets, but beg, steal and borrow to get yourself in there to see one of the great London musical institutions. Ray Gelato, thank you very, very much.
Many thanks, Robert.